this chapter.
So first one is Arjun's the continuation of the arguments given by Arjun. That's what I remember, but I'll just look up my notes.
Yeah, sure. I have just shared my screen as well.
Yeah, Arjun's further doubts. Yes.
So 11 to 30, this is the section we are in. This section is called Gyan. So that is where we are in Gyan. So Gyan is 5.
It yes. It is a counter argument to compassion
Correct.
argument.
Correct. So 11 to 30 is an answer to the first argument of Arjun, which was compassion. What were the different arguments of Arjun?
Compassion.
Mhm. Okay. To remember this, it's just understand this. I've shared my screen.
Say set fee. Yeah.
CEDFI, said fee.
Set fee.
Okay.
I remember
C
said
is
fee, but I
yeah,
forgot what the full
yeah,
forms are.
no
Sorry.
problem. Yeah. So said fee, C compassion, E
Material enjoyment of.
enjoyment, D destruction of family traditions, F fear of sinful reactions, and I indecision. Yeah. So 5 arguments of Arjun. Major 5 arguments. Do you relate yourself with any of these? In terms of the question, why am I working? So when we work, we do our job, and then there are problems in it. Problems such as, stress, problems such as not reaching our goals. Now, work can be anything. It can be, your business, your office work, any work for that matter. Do you relate with any of these 5 from Arjun in your current situation of life?
I relate with the second one, enjoyment.
Enjoyment, okay.
Yes, that if I don't work, I will not be able to get any benefits, material benefits.
Mhm. No, that is okay. That is, I think, very standard. That
Mm-hmm.
if I don't work, I will not get anything. That is correct. But is that a doubt you have? Is that something you don't want to do?
No, no, not at all. That is like
Ah,
you just said, standard. Yeah.
ah. So it's what we have to do, right? But what I'm saying is that is this any of these 5 which you feel that is kind of an issue you have? Generally, every human being has one of these five troubles, I would say.
Yes, sir. So indecision.
Yeah, indecision is very, very common and popular one because you don't know sometimes whether this is right or wrong, whether I'm doing correctly or not, whether this job is right for me or not. Maybe I can do something which can give me more money, or maybe something I can do which can give me more satisfaction in terms of work. Maybe there is something, Yes, is it right, Randeep?
Yes, sir.
Uh, Do you relate to this one, both of you, Kalpesh and Rishi as well? Indecision.
Yes, indecision is also, yeah. Especially if you have a choice, I don't know. So especially in those situations,
Hmm.
I always face, because you keep doing pros and cons of each, but maybe the approach is not uh, historically been the right approach of, of approaching the problem. But I think indecision is a very common one. Yes.
So there is a saying, people are armchair generals. It says paralysis by analysis.
Correct. I am a victim of that.
So when I say indecision, I'll give you Arjun's situation. So Arjun's situation is he has to fight a battle. He's standing in the middle of the battlefield. He has to fight a battle with his own relatives. And he has to kill them in order to get the kingdom, to win the war. He has to literally kill them. So his victory will be tainted with the blood of his relatives. That is what he has to do. I think a little more tougher than what we are doing, right? Yes?
Hmm.
A lot more tougher than what we are doing. He has to literally kill. He has to kill them to get the victory and to win the kingdom. So he doesn't like the enjoyment which he'll get, the kingdom which he'll get. That is why the E part is important. He doesn't like that enjoyment tainted with the blood of his grandfather. Does it make sense? Sometimes we feel, right? Sometimes we do some work, and if it is like someone tells us you have to work somewhere in the night around 2 o'clock, 2 a.m., you work at that time, you'll be getting double money. Sometimes it doesn't relate to that, that's not worth the money to wake up in the morning at 2 a.m. work. We do relate, right? Things. Is it worth doing this? So he's getting a kingdom, but for that he has to kill his grandfather, his guru. He will have to literally kill them. Yeah, not even a bullet. He has to actually kill them. The sword, an arrow. See the blood, literally kill them badly, and then get the kingdom. So he's not finding that relativity, that whether is it worth getting the kingdom. That's his argument. It's intelligent, right? Compassionately intelligent argument, isn't it? Yes, you agree? And if he doesn't do it, if he doesn't kill them, doesn't win this war, then he has to go back and see Draupadi's open hair and Draupadi's, you know, the, the tyranny which has happened on all the Pandavas, the way Draupadi was disrobed. He has to see all that. And as soon as he sees that, he thinks about it. His Kshatriya blood starts boiling, right? He has to fight then again. But again, when he wants to fight, he sees his grandfather and guru. He has to kill them to get that, to taint that with the blood and get the kingdom. You understand his dilemma?
So one question though, and this is always it throws me off. Why didn't he just get up and basically kill the Shashan right then and there? I mean, I understand they are slaves, and but that being said, I mean, aren't there? Isn't there some sort of a duty towards your wife too?
Yeah. So when we talk about Kshatriyas, when they follow, in today's times, nobody, follows even what is, the processes, written processes. In those times, even the verbal processes were followed. So if someone says that, this is what I will be doing, he will do it. If he says as a Kshatriya, this is my, you know, protocols, the processes I have to follow, he will do it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
as a protocol, if he says that, yes, I've gambled myself as a Kshatriya and I'm your slave, I am your slave. That's it. Now it's just not only Pandavas, even Duryodhan. So even Duryodhan, when he gave his word to Arjun, that when he was saved by the Gandharvas,
Right.
he was saved from the Gandharvas by Arjun.
By Arjun.
When he helped him, he gave him a boon, saying that whenever you want, I'll one boon, I'll give you that. He said, I don't want it now. I'll ask at the time when the time comes. And just at the time when Bhishma Pitama gave him 5 arrows of which would definitely kill the Pandavas, all the 5 Pandavas. They were meant to kill the Pandavas from all the Bhishma's sacrifice. He had done all the mantras he could to make those 5 arrows. And those 5 arrows were asked by Arjun from Duryodhan, and he gave it. So this is the protocol, Kshatriya protocol. You see, code of conduct, Kshatriya code of conduct.
But how do you win a war then?
Yeah, in today's times, it's a big question, isn't it? There has to be some kind of treachery. There has to be some kind of, you know, uh, uh, some dubiousness.
Right. Right.
Some philosopher would come and say everything is fair in love and war, and we will start believing it. Yes, that's right. You can do anything, but that's not the code of conduct for a Kshatriya. No,
Hmm.
that is not a
Hmm.
Kshatriya. That is not a Kshatriya statement. Everything is
Hmm.
fair in. No, it's not. Kshatriya code of conduct is different. So he will fight with, legal, with legitimate means. According to the dharma, he will fight. Although, when there is a dharma, then there is Shashtam, which Krishna explained later at the time when Karna was killed. So he did give the reason why Karna should be killed that way. Many reasons. Because the code of conduct was broken by Karna first. He killed Abhimanyu. So he had to be punished. So there was a what do you call what do you call that? Uh,
Reciprocality.
or there is one missile which which is there, which actually goes against the other missile. In Gulf War, they had used the first.
Uh,
What do they
Patriot.
call it? Pat, the Patriot, right? Patriot, right?
Yeah.
What's the
The
Patriot?
Israelis are using a version called Iron Dome,
Yeah, but the concept behind that was what was the
anti-missile missile.
something like that? Yeah, so that something which actually Patriot. Yeah, the Patriots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Patriot missile is something which goes against one missile and hits it. So what Krishna was doing is he was just giving the argument to kill Karna based on what he had done. So exactly what he had done. It was Shashtam. So what the Patriot missile is nothing but Shashtam. It is just a reciprocation of what you are doing, or rather a retaliation of what someone has done.
Retaliation. Okay.
Yeah,
But Prabhuji,
yeah,
even that way, Duryodhan already had done the try to burn them in the Lakshagra, and or before that
Correct.
also
Correct.
tried to poison Bhim. So he had already
Correct.
broken the code of conduct.
Yes. No, he had not broken the code of conduct in the war.
Okay.
Oh, he had done, morally, he had done a lot of things which were wrong. Yeah. But Arjun, when he was talking about Atataina, what was that verse? Can you tell me? When you're talking about aggressors, right? So
Yeah, I'm
where are
talking about same thing
the
which Ranjit said, that why did he not kill Dushasana
yeah.
at the
So what was the verse where it was defined as aggressors?
oh
If
yes,
someone
yes, I
can
know.
find it now. What do you call? So what Rishi is talking about is aggressor. Who is an aggressor? Yes, Randir.
So it's a very simple explanation.
No, no, no. There are 7 different aspects of an aggressor. Remember?
Got to check my notes on that.
Who's an aggressor? As per which Shastra? That is the next question I will ask. So
Jeez,
aggressor, or it is also called as Atataina.
right.
What is Atataina? Atatai. Who's an Atatai? Atatai means Ata means the the string of the
Yes.
bow. The string of the bow. Pratyancha in Sanskrit. Ata. That is called Ata. So someone who is Tai. Tai means he's stretching. He's stretching
The
the
bow.
the string of the bow with an arrow, of course, in front of you. He's trying to kill you. That's called an aggressor. So that is just the explanation. Someone's trying to kill you, but someone trying to harm you basically in different ways. So we had discussed this. How is he trying to harm you? One is by giving you poison.
Oh yeah.
Second is by burning you.
Right.
Third one by stealing your land.
Yeah,
Fourth,
1.36, Prabhuji.
very nice. 1.36. Can you read the verse?
I have the description which I have written of 6 types of aggressors, which you're just saying that poison giver, one who
Yes.
sets fire to the house, one who attacks with deadly weapons,
Mhm.
then plunders riches, occupies others' land, and kidnaps a wife.
Right.
I can read the verse if you want.
Yes. Go for it.
Yeah. पापम् एव स्रयेत् अस्मान् हत्वेतान् अतात्तयेनः तस्मान्नर्ह वयं हन्तुं धार्तराष्ट्रान् सा बान्धवान् स्वजन्म स्वजन्म हि कथं हत्वा सुखी न स्वयं माधव 1.36 Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore,
Hmm.
it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own kingsmen?
So Arjuna's level of understanding or compassion is higher. Now, which Shastra is the aggressors mentioned in Atataina? Which Shastra? I think we discussed that also. Who has described these aggressors and what should be done with these aggressors?
Who has described, I don't know, but here in the purport it is written
Mhm.
that such aggressors are at once to be killed, and no sin is incurred by killing such aggressors.
Correct.
Such killing of aggressors is quite befitting any ordinary man, but Arjun was not an ordinary person. He was a saintly character. He
Okay.
was saintly by character, and therefore he wanted to deal with them in saintliness.
Okay. So my question is that see six aggressors. Okay, I'll take one step back. How many different types of Shastra are there? And which Shastra are we reading? Good to have a quick check, right? What are we doing? Isn't it? Yes. Anyone?
We are reading the Sanatan Dharma Shastra, is
Okay.
what I understand.
Okay.
How many types? Hmm, I think we had discussed this long time back.
So Shastra is read one in the way we want to see and read it, and the other is that the way it actually is. Okay. So there are three different types of Shastra. The lowest one is Artha Shastra, where you want Artha. What is Artha? Yes, you're right, Chitij. Money is one part of Artha. Artha means some material benefit. That is Artha. And that is one part of Purushartha. So there are different types of Purushartha. What are different types of Purusharthas? Karma, Artha, Kama, Moksha.
Yeah, Dharma, Artha,
Yeah.
Kama,
So
Moksha.
you work. You work in order to get Artha. Artha means material benefits. And with material benefits, you enjoy. You fulfill your desires, which is Kama. After you are satisfied of fulfilling your desires, you go to Moksha. Try and do that. That is the four Purusharthas. Arjun is not talking about Artha Shastra. So this is Artha. Artha comes in this when there is material benefit. Artha Shastra explains about aggressors. What should a king do for Artha Shastra? And who was one of the top, one of the topmost philosophers
Kautilya.
in Artha? Kautilya, Chanakya. Very nice, Randir.
Chanakya. Yeah.
Chanakya. Yeah. What was his name? Chanakya was the
Vishnu
yeah
Pandit.
yeah Vishnu. His name Vishnu. I don't know exactly, but you can find out. His name was Vishnu. But Chanakya was because he was a son of Chanak. That's why he was Chanakya.
So how did his name become Kautilya too?
Kautilya was the niti he used to follow.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that was the something like a title. You give doctor of philosophy or something.
Mm,
So the niti which he
Mhm.
followed, the processes was Kautilya niti.
mm.
Kautilya.
It's
So I
Vishnu
studied
Gupta.
second. I
Vishnu
studied.
Gupta, his name is. Sorry.
Vishnu
Yeah.
Gupta. Vishnu Gupta. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I studied Indian history as
Mm,
part of my second year in college. And I'll tell
mhm,
you one thing:
mm.
it's garbage.
What
The
is garbage? Chanakya niti.
the no the education of what they gave us
Mm,
about it's really garbage. Now that I learn about it,
mm,
it's total garbage.
mm. Unfortunately, the kind of education which is based on our Vedic Shastras or other Shastras is diluted. Unfortunately, we don't have good teachers in that area. That's why people put their kids into Gurukulas, which are still there
Mhm.
in India, different Matha and Gurukulas, where they can get actual. There's still some good pundits where they get this right education.
No,
So
because our books, our history books, texts all on the basis of what the English people have
yeah,
actually.
yeah,
So
that's right.
I don't even find any aspect of it.
No, they have, yeah, they have. It's quite manipulated. It's not. The context is completely changed. Yeah, it's hard, no, for basically um, people coming from the Christian church and trying to teach you the Shastra. It's hard for them, so they will teach you the way they know it. So that's why I said Shastra is something you either you read it and understand the way you want to understand, one, and the second is what they actually are. So that is why Prabhupada made this initiative, took this initiative of presenting Bhagavad Gita as it is, so that you understand the way it is.
Right.
Okay, so coming back to um, the Shastra we were talking about. So Artha
So just
Shastra.
one quick thought query
Yeah.
that I wanted to ask, if I
Yes,
may.
please. Yeah, please go for it.
So the Bronze Age, okay, on the basis of historical information which is given to us in our studies at university, this says any history of India starts off from the Bronze Age. The printing of those coins and Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, and there's no mention of the nation prior to that.
Hmm.
So, at what time frame would this be, sir?
Time frame.
Yeah,
Well, Bhagavad Gita was spoken around, it is said, 5,500 years ago.
right. So,
Yeah.
where would Mohenjo-daro and Harappa be? Because that's the earliest context that they have for India.
I don't think so that is that near. So it is like far before, much before, far beyond the number of years then these things happened.
Okay, okay,
Yeah. But they still find the remains of, they have still found all the, the all the historical aspects in terms of Dwarka and all that. They have found all that underneath.
right, right, right.
And that is much before, much before than all these.
Okay, okay,
Well, these are all theories. Harappa and Aryan civilization, they're all theories.
right,
There is no Shastric evidence of that.
right. No, I'm just trying to put it together in a line. I'm just trying to
Yeah,
figure
yeah,
out
yeah,
what comes
absolutely.
where.
But that's something unfortunate, because our Vedic culture was not uh, sustained. Vedic studies or knowledge was not sustained by the philosophers, Indian philosophers,
Hmm.
and the ones who actually tried to, it was like discouraged.
Hmm.
Some of the philosophers, even from the Mughal era, they tried to sustain our Vedic Shastra. Like there was
Hmm.
one brother of Aurangzeb, his name was Dara Shikoh. He actually
Hmm.
translated, because it was Mughal era and a
Hmm.
lot of Persian and that language being prominent at that time.
Hmm.
So he actually translated all our Vedic Shastras. In fact, Bhagavad Gita also he translated into Persian.
He was killed, wasn't he?
Oh, very nice. He actually, when he was sentenced to, that's the reason why he was sentenced to death by Aurangzeb.
Hmm.
He didn't want it to encourage Shastras. So Aurangzeb was the turning point, who destroyed all the Vedas as well. Not all, but most of them. Burnt all the Vedas.
Jabzi
Destroyed
attacks. Jabzi
destroyed the
attacks on
temples.
all
Yeah.
non-Muslims.
Destroyed the temples. All those
Hmm.
things. So much has happened during that era. So Dara Shikoh actually was the elder brother of Aurangzeb,
Hmm.
and he was the legitimate
Crown
crowned
Prince.
prince.
Crown
He
Prince.
was to become the king, but
Hmm.
Aurangzeb killed him, sentenced him to death, saying that he was, you know, against the religion and all that. So he created all that kind of air against him.
Hmm.
Also against his father as well, Shah Jahan as well.
Oh yeah.
So he was like a tyrant basically. You know.
They said Indian
So
history would have been very different if Dara Shikoh would have become
oh yeah,
the king
absolutely,
instead of Aurangzeb.
absolutely. And in fact, when Dara Shikoh was, it is in the Upanishad that when Dara Shikoh was sentenced to death, He actually was reciting the verses of Bhagavad Gita before he died.
His mother was Indian, Hindu, I think. Yeah, or
Uh,
grandmother, one of the two.
no, his mother, Shah Jahan's wife, was Mumtaz. She was not Hindu. She was Mumtaz Begum. Her That's where the Taj Mahal is built for. On her,
But, but sir, wasn't the Taj Mahal built on a Hindu temple?
no, no, no. Taj Mahal was built. Uh, that is not built on a Hindu temple. Definitely not. Not Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal is built on the graves of Mumtaz and Shah Jahan.
Oh no, no, I understand that, but I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know where I read about it. But
No,
this says the graves were basically on top of a destroyed Hindu temple.
I don't think so. That would be some, I don't know.
I think it is a
Maybe
conspiracy theory. This
maybe I
the
don't know.
Tejo Mahal.
But Taj Mahal may not be the one, but there are others. If you see if you see the monuments, you'll be able to see the 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 base. So if anyone has visited Mathura, have you visited
Yeah,
Mathura?
I was going to say that. Yeah,
Yeah, so if you see the Janmabhoomi, Janmasthan
yeah.
of Lord Shri Krishna,
Hmm.
it's all red stone. It was very prominent. That's how the Red Fort was also made.
Hmm.
So red stone is Indian. There that's what comes out. The red
Hmm.
natural stone. So it's very strong. It's very very hard to break. So
Hmm.
if you see the stone, the red stone, that's how the temple is made, Krishna Janmabhoomi in Mathura.
Hmm.
But just next to it, adjacent to it, there is a mosque.
Hmm.
So if you see, the mosque is white, but the base of the mosque is red stone. So when you see that, the red stone goes like this. It's like an L. So the temple, then there is an L, the horizontal line of the red stone, and on that horizontal line of red stone, there is this mosque built, which you can
So, sir, what
completely
does that
understand.
mean? What does that mean? Does that
Oh,
mean that
yeah, yeah,
part of the temple was destroyed
yeah,
and they
yeah,
put up
yeah,
a mosque there?
exactly. They couldn't break the other part, so whatever part was destroyed, they built their mosque on top of it.
Same with Kashi Vishwanath temple.
So similar kind of things have. So you can actually figure out. You can see what was broken and how these things were made on top. So if you see all mostly in Vrindavan, I mean, he tried to break all the temples, but I think he couldn't, because there were so many. Even after he has broken so many temples of Vrindavan, currently Vrindavan has about 6,000 temples. just just Vrindavan. So it's very hard to take out the dharma, Sanatana dharma, the preaching which has been done, the temples which have been made. Very difficult to take it out from India. And he went to South also. The South, if you see, to break those temples, he will have to take a few more births. It's not easy to break those temples. The very Dravidian style, older, very strong temples,
Right.
very prominent. And if you see South India, the leaders and the kings, they were very strong in terms of the religious beliefs, and they didn't
Hmm.
allow these things to happen. So if you see even today, like I went there in 2018, I think, yeah, and just one city like Srirangam or Tiruchirappalli, there, just one little city which is like a very small little town, just one little city has Vishnu temples. It has 90 Vishnu temples and massive temples. I mean, where you will go inside and feel it, it's like two Taj Mahals, one temple. So it is just impossible for anyone to break those temples.
But Prabhuji, this
Yeah,
is our culture. That's what we are studying right now.
yeah.
How is it that with this knowledge,
Mm.
we allowed we allowed something like that to happen?
Yeah, it is. See, what happens is, it's not just that time. Even today, if someone tells us that you stop the education which is given by the Westerners to our kids and start Vedic education, it will be hard for us to do that. We won't be able to take that decision instantly. Because what happens is that over a period of time, slowly, people start to adapt to something which is new and which is shown that it is better than the old. They start adapting that, and that was the mistake which has happened. And unlike some countries who do not adapt to new things, they only stick to their own languages. You know what I mean, right? So they don't change to English. They will not take up. So they're very strong in their beliefs. So there is a unity. Basically, that was lost. You know, if you see
Prabhuji, I
the
think,
Vedic, yeah,
yeah, no, I agree with you. And even today, we see, like, for example, that unity is less compared to some other cultures.
yeah,
And I see even on social media, a lot of people will still mock about, oh, all you want is a temple because of this Ram Janmabhoomi, all thing that is happening.
yeah,
And
correct.
Hindu people. So
Yeah,
I think if in today's time when people are more educated and everything, we are still having that tendency, and having gone through so much of history, so many of us still have that feeling. I think it is not surprising to think back
yeah.
then
That is the
also.
reason why Prabhupada, he came to the Western world and he started preaching to the Westerners because he was very far-sighted. What he saw that if Westerners start chanting Sanskrit mantras, then the Indians will follow them.
Prabhuji, a quick question, just
Basically,
going on
that's
what
what happened
Rishi
with
said.
me.
Sorry.
So I shouldn't go out of, with me personally. I was attracted to Swami, who was basically an American.
Oh,
And I was so much attracted to him, the way he used to chant shlokas. I got attracted to him. And he told me to read Bhagavad Gita. I started reading Bhagavad Gita. And because of him, I started reading. And this is Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada has taught him.
hmm.
And because I'm in the West, I'm following him. So I I find Srila Prabhupada's mercy so important that if he wouldn't have taken the initiative, I wouldn't be following Bhagavad Gita. I will be still following these guys because these guys wouldn't have followed it. And that's happened with many people. Many people. So when he took Westerners and made them dance in Vrindavan, Indians were crazy in 70s. So he used to call them white elephants. So he used to say, I will bring my white elephants and make them dance to Krishna's tune, then you will follow Krishna. And he succeeded. So you see now today's times, you'll see in Australia and US and Canada, everywhere, you'll find Harinams happening. And in Harinam, the majority of people there are Westerners. Indians follow, they come and dance and they go. But they start following them because Westerners are running it. You know. So this is the problem. We don't find our Vedic literature or Vedic culture so appealing unless it is understood by the West and they start appreciating it, and then we say, oh yes, there's something in it. The Sanskrit is there from thousands of years. In fact, I remember now after I start reading Sanskrit that I used to recite Sanskrit better than what I'm doing now when I was in my KG kindergarten. I still remember I used to go to a small town in a small um, school called Saraswati Shishu Mandir, wherein they used to teach Sanskrit. We had 6 teachers, prominent teachers of Sanskrit. I still remember. And we used to call them Acharya.
Wow.
And I used to sit down. There was a slate which used to write with a chalk. And they used to teach me Sanskrit. I used to write Sanskrit. And I used to recite Sanskrit. My father, he gave me, after a long time, he gave me a cassette of my recording, which he has done of recitation. So fluent in Sanskrit. But the problem is that is lost. The progress, as we call it, I was moved to an English school later,
Hmm.
and I was taught the way the English curriculum was, and everything was lost. Now everybody did the same thing because they didn't want it that. So we actually killed our own culture. It's no one else who is
Anilji,
responsible. Yeah,
I also have a similar history. The way we live, it is always imbibed on us that we need to work hard, get a job, earn money, all that kind of mentality. I had a choice, I remember, because I come from the same line where from my grandfathers we have been taught how they do all these things, tulsi vivaha, which we do now, then
Yeah.
all these simple things which are followed in our culture. And in Ahmednagar district in Maharashtra, where I actually did my engineering, we have till date we have a Datta Gurukul, where some of my relatives kids and we all had planned to go and take admission there when we were at that age. Unfortunately, our parents took a decision: no, you study engineering, move ahead that path. But I have two colleagues who studied there. They are still there and supporting the community in learning the culture that we are embracing. And the difference I see between the way they are happy in their life, and even though we are sitting in Australia, we are earning good, everything is good, but there is
Yeah.
a difference in the happiness they have and the happiness we are seeing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Kalpesh, Aditi, Rishi, Randhir, looks like Sunday afternoon is kicking in, taking a small nap or a break.
Sir, Samne.
No, actually, I'm here. It's just that I'm keeping my phone for charging.
Sure, sure.
Since I
Aditi, good
put
morning.
the video and
Hi.
all, then
Good morning. I'm here. I'm listening.
I'm also
Good,
here.
good, 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 good.
I'm listening.
Whenever you're in sensible position, you can turn your video on, no problem.
Yeah. I'll see. I'll see.
Sure, 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 sure,
Yeah.
sure. All right. So the point was that Arjun was not thinking in terms of Arthashastra. So there are three levels. Arthashastra, above that is Dharma Shastra, that you consider Dharma, not just Artha. And then after Dharma, you're doing the right thing, basically, as we said in simple terms, doing your right duty. So he's thinking of Dharma. Is it right or wrong? I mean, agree. As per Arthashastra, we have to kill the aggressors, but they are my relatives too. Is it right to kill my relatives? You know, will that not cause me sinful reactions? Although they have done sinful activities, I understand that. So he's going on top, a little above on Dharma Shastra. And above Dharma Shastra, it is spiritual, which is Bhakti Shastra. So we will go to that level also, but this is more of a on the Dharma side. So Mahabharata is also known as Dharma Yuddha. So you can classify Mahabharata or Bhagavad Gita into the Dharma section, where where you understand what you should be doing. So Bhagavad Gita is termed in that area, in that category. Understood? Three different levels of Shastra. Yeah. Yes.
Pra- Prabhuji, I thought we saying Artha Shastra, then Dharma Shastra, then Kam and Moksha. Isn't that the sequence?
No, that is
So what?
Purushartha. That is the stages.
Okay, okay,
That is not Shastra.
okay,
Shastras are three different levels as we understand. So one is on the Artha level, that is economics, money, material, Artha. Then on top of that is Dharma, what to do, right, wrong, and all that. So we have those different types of Shastra. And then on top is the Bhakti Shastra.
okay. So can we say then that even though Artha Shastra was telling that these six kind of aggressors need to be killed,
But
more
Arjun
importantly,
was
it
not
is.
Arjun was not thinking on that level. He was thinking above that level. He was thinking on the level of Dharma Shastra.
But even Dharma Shastra, can we connect that to Kshatriya Dharma?
Exactly. So his Kshatriya Dharma was to protect Draupadi, right?
Right.
But on the other hand, when he was going to fight, he was seeing his relatives, his grandfather, his guru, to be killed and then taint that his crown, which he gets with their blood.
Hmm.
So he was in a dilemma. So I'm trying to put Arjun's situation in front of you.
Hmm.
How do you relate that with our own self? We have that situation too, right? When we have tough times in our work, we see it's so difficult to handle these things. But when we come home, when we see our family, when we see our relatives, yes, we have to do this for them. Yes, yes or no?
Yes.
We have
Most
to
of our
handle that.
decisions are that way.
Sorry, say that
Yes.
again.
Most of our decisions are driven like that.
So we don't know what to do. So that indecision is where they live. So a person like Arjun, with a lot of integrity and honesty, following the dharma, completely absorbed in the names of Krishna. That kind of person, for that kind of person, Krishna actually tells him the. And so for this is what Bhagavad Gita is. So actually, it is Bhagavad Gita is for those who are managing this kind of situation and are sometimes in trouble in managing this. Trying to find happiness, doing all sorts of things, trying to keep a balance between work, home, and all other things. Trying to do a lot of work in gaining happiness, but it doesn't come up. Yeah, we think, okay, we'll get a new job, I'll be happy. I'll get this project sorted, I'll be happy. I'll get another person in the family, one baby, I'll be happy. If I get married, I'll be happy. If I get this, I'll be happy. But happiness doesn't arrive even that milestone is reached. Agree, not agree?
Agreed.
100% agree.
100% agreed.
Yeah. So that happiness, what is that behind it? That is what Krishna is going to explain in Bhagavad Gita. That makes Bhagavad Gita interesting. So although the reasons Arjun is giving to Krishna, this seems very logical and very intelligent. But Krishna tells him that they are not. He says, Ashocha anvashochastam pratyavadamshte bhashase. Although you are talking like an intelligent person, but you're sounding foolish. This is Krishna says in 2.11. But once Bhagavad Gita is spoken, at the end, so when Krishna speaks the Bhagavad Gita and explains them in detail, all the concepts, the kind of clarity which Arjun gets is explained in 18.73. So we'll read that verse.
And it is said that Bhagavad Gita was spoken in 45 minutes. Is
That's
that
correct. That's
right?
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Which
Correct.
on
Exactly. 45 minutes is the correct. But it will take us
45
at least
months, I guess.
at least four
mm,
at least 4 years to complete half of Bhagavad Gita. I can tell you that.
yeah, that's right.
At least to even and to implement another 4 years maybe or 8 years. One sloka maybe, hopefully, if we can. Yeah. But Arjun, that's why if you see uh, what has degraded from that era to this era, what has been degraded? There is a degrade in consciousness. Our consciousness is degraded so much, which has caused the understanding, the implementation, it is completely derailed. It's slowed down. Previously, in those times, there was no book and there was no Bhagavad Gita like this, wherein Arjun will go and refer to. Krishna spoke, Arjun heard, 45 minutes, understood, done, over.
Done.
No notes, nothing, not even written shlokas. Arjun remembered all the shlokas which Krishna spoke immediately after he spoke, even after the war. So that level of consciousness is yet we now. I would like to throw a question. Like we have been doing this from almost a year, Kalpesh. This one,
Yeah.
Yes.
but I would like to hear one shloka from everyone. Any one shloka. So we would have done at least 50-60 shlokas by now, right? More than that? Yeah, 43 shlokas in the first verse. Yes, correct.
Yep.
46.
I can say something very important from introduction. Is that okay?
No, shloka. Sanskrit shloka.
I
One
yeah, I
shloka.
can
Any
say a few.
any shloka. One shloka. You say that with conviction, such a conviction that you are actually practicing it. Any shloka. You're practicing it in your own way. I'm not asking you to do it now, but any one shloka so far. So from 1.1 till 2.14, we have done up till 2.1415. Yes. So from 1, so 40, how many verses in first chapter?
48 or something.
46.
46 or 48?
46.
Correct?
46.
46. 46
46.
plus 14. 60.
Yes.
60.
Yes. So out of these 60 verses we have read, any one verse which you have just understood correctly, you can recite it, you can absorb it, you feel it, you can actually practice it. So we have been doing this for Bhagavad Gita for a year now, these sessions, right? 1 year?
Yep.
Almost.
Yeah? Any one
More than
shloka,
1 year.
more than 1 year. So any one shloka. Are we able to? Can I say yes? All of you, any one shloka which you can recite, understand, translate, and practice. You know, I know this in and out. Can we say that?
Yeah, Anil Prabhuji, I can do that because one of these sloks which we did a lot of time. So
Okay,
I'll just first say the shlok for
okay,
everyone.
okay.
So Matra Sparashastu Kaunteya Shitoshna Sukha Dukkhada Agamapaino Nityas Tam Stitikshasva Bharata.
Very
This is
nice.
2.14.
14.
Um, and now in this verse, basically what I am trying to practice daily life is the word titikshasva, which we discussed a lot detailed. Basically, tolerating all the things that come in our way to keep to work for the highest battle, meaning keep the biggest battle as the biggest battle, which we discussed. And the biggest battle which we discussed is the way it says that no matter how many good or bad events or things come in summer and winter which comes in our way or not basically have any issues due to that and change your mindset. And the titikshasva word in this verse basically is in my heart and mind, where I try to tolerate no matter my wife is angry, no matter my boss says you're not doing good, no matter my friends don't pick up my call, no matter anyone says any bad thing,
Is there a connection issue?
anyone says anything bad. So just try to tolerate that until you understand that this is just a part of life.
I think it's Shitish's network probably. Yeah, he's dropped out. Or maybe, I don't know.
So it is
Yeah.
1.2 until 1.25, 1.26. It's simply a Sena reduction, right?
Sorry, Kshitish is back. Kshitish,
Yeah.
actually, your voice was crackling when you were speaking.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
better now?
But yeah, we've
We
got the
understood. We
gist of
got
what you're
90%
saying.
of it.
We got the gist of what, and it's fantastic, Kshitij. Very nice. Wonderfully done. And I think you have a very nice application understanding of this shloka. Wonderful. So that is your understanding of that verse. And if one verse, and uh, I would like to encourage you on this, that it might take time to practice one verse, but one verse can change your entire life. Like the one which you have
Yep,
picked
that's
up, it's an amazing verse. if you're able to apply that verse for even 1 year, I'll tell you, you'll find massive difference in your life. Massive difference in your life. So fantastic, fantastic approach. So this is what I was trying to say, that if you are able to pick one verse. Yeah, Randhir, you were saying from 1.1 to 1.26 or whatever, 23, this is all Sen and Nirikshan Yoga. I understand
Yes.
that. But how do you understand? It's up to you completely. You read the translation, you read the purport, and if you want to pick up something from it which you can apply in your life, I'm I'm quite confident that among these 60 verses, there will be one or two verses, or maybe more than that, which which will be which are eligible for an application in our life.
Oh, yes, sir. Two, definitely. 2.6, 2.7. I mean, that's the basis of it, right?
So if you can pick up any verse and are able to apply, recite it, and live a little bit of that verse, that's Bhagavad Gita. You will see the differences in your life. That's the way to read Bhagavad Gita. That is the way to understand Bhagavad Gita.
And also, probably to add, 2.13 is one really good verse. Whenever I talk to my mother or some of the seniors in the family or relatives, they always have some pain, some issues going on in their body as they are in the old age. So I definitely refer and recite this verse to them. I did this with my mother 3 times till now. I'm still consistently doing that. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantar praptir dhiras tatra namuyati. So
Yeah, but it is
basically,
hard in terms of
it,
us to keep ourselves in someone else's shoes. Trust me,
yeah,
it is very hard, because a person who is at that age, he knows what is he going through. It is very hard actually. We can have empathy, but to experience the same thing what the other person is, it's very hard. So people who are experiencing it, they know better. We can share what you're doing is right. You can share that whatever you have read, you can share, but it's them who have to pick up and apply in their life.
yeah.
You can only share with them, you know. But what you are doing it, if you are applying something in your life, that is something, which is feasible for us, and this is how we understand Bhagavad Gita. So when you share your realization after you have practiced it for a year or 2 years or 3 years, if you can go that far, amazing. If you can practice it, that verse is inside you. And then when you explain your own experience based on the verse you have followed, the impact which goes on others is amazing. That is how you spread Bhagavad Gita. That is how we spread Bhagavad Gita. Very practical. Very practical.
Prabhuji,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you know, talking about it, I mean, I seem to be suffering from a lot of anger issues in life. I used to hold a lot of grudges.
Mhm,
2.11
mhm,
is it's fantastic.
mhm, mhm,
You know, Uh, when they're talking about grief, right? I mean, the saying is, why would you? Essentially, is why would you? It changed my perspective towards looking at things.
mhm, mhm.
I don't know. I mean, it's like I can connect to something like that.
Okay. Okay. So that is Ashvacha Anvashvachastvam. That is 2.11, right?
Right, sir.
Pragyavadam Shabhashase.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. People don't, um, people who are intelligent, they don't lament what is not worthy of lamenting.
Right.
Yeah. But with anger, I'll tell you, with anger, Randhir, we will be reaching, when we will reach the end of chapter 2, you will get some verses, some fantastic verses, which will be literally like a solution to the anger. So there are a series of verses which we will discuss when we reach the chapter 2, end of chapter 2. There's a series of verses, 4 or 5 verses, which tell you the reason, the core, from where it all starts and where it ends, and what you should tweak to fix this source.
Right.
And that is purely anger.
So I kind of figured out one thing is the reason of my anger too is I live my life in a certain way, and I expect other people to have a similar, way of dealing with me. So if not, I get angry,
Yeah.
right?
That is one way of realizing it and experiencing it. Very nice. But Krishna will tell you what is the actual reason you get angry, because he's also there inside, you know.
Right.
So
That's what I'm learning.
the thing is that we know our own way, which is good. You know, we try to experience, we try to observe, we try to see ourselves internally and find out what is the reason. But Krishna knows something which we do not know. And when he tells you that this is the reason, then you start meditating on that. Oh my God, yeah, he's right. And when we try to tweak that, and if it fixes the issue, then you actually understand, man. No. Maybe I don't know a few things about myself. What Krishna knows. Then we understand that yes, there is an aspect of Paramatma within us, which knows more than us. So we try to understand ourselves, well and good. Self-realization, fantastic. But Paramatma understanding is just too much. And if we surrender, if we really believe that yes, what is he saying is correct and I should work on it, if we are convinced, and if we start doing that, you'll see the results actually. And when you see the results, you start believing more. So that is coming up. Anger management is coming up, Randir. My favorite too.
If I
Yeah.
may add,
Yes, Rishi.
because I also have anger management issues,
Yeah,
but I
everybody.
found
Yeah.
of late I started doing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra,
Very
and doing
nice.
that helps
Yeah.
calm me down.
Yeah. So do
Rishi,
you
you
know what?
married?
No, yours is at a different level, but I am
You can't
working
have
it.
anger
Yes.
issues if you're married.
So just so that we touch this area, since you guys have brought it up, we can go back to the circle which we had done last time.
Right.
Are you able to pull up the circle which I had sent in our?
No session.
I don't think so in the session, but during the week I had sent it.
It's in the WhatsApp.
It's in the
Understand
WhatsApp.
the different layers,
Yep.
the
Cross body,
which are
mind.
corresponding to the components that we have. These layers, these components, they help you in self-realization. Now, self-realization, when the term comes self-realization, it is not just the soul. Huh? People say that he is self-realized. That means he has understood that he's a soul, so he's self-realized, and he has realized that he's a soul. No, it's not just that. It is realizing your whole self, understanding each and every component.
So you're talking about
Because
the soul, subtle body, and the gross body, right?
correct.
Yeah.
So the understanding gross body itself will take some time.
Mm.
Because when we realize the senses, the difference, you know. So when we see that there is a sense which is the tongue, and then there is speech, there is a difference. Speech is a different sense, tongue is a different sense.
Mm.
Although tongue is used to talk, but the primary function of a tongue is to taste. Yes. So there is a difference. But the way we are tuned is that speech and tongue, we just think it is one and the same. So the senses have to be separated and understood very carefully. That is a difference. Some people may have tongue, but they may not be able to talk. Yeah, correct?
Yep.
So speech is different. So
So,
gross point.
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
I apologize, but
Yeah.
do these same components apply to everybody?
Hmm,
Of course, yes.
absolutely. Jiva. Everyone has those components. Yeah.
No, but
Functioning,
what I'm trying to say is,
non-functioning, we don't know whether that sense is active or it is not active. That we don't know.
no, because we see these fools on social media, right? 2 million followers. I mean, it's like I sometimes doubt as to intelligence. I find it when I look at those circle. I find it so difficult to try to figure out is where how do they in fact fit into this?
Fit into what? Sorry.
I mean, we are actively trying to understand as to where our position in life, right?
Mhm.
And then you see these guys on social media on every aspect of, and you try to figure out is this is me. How is it? Where do these guys fit in?
Why? Why would that question come up? I mean, out
Competition,
of
sir.
curiosity. Why?
Competition.
See, there is something called as the understanding where you get the uh, where you are getting your um, satisfaction or happiness or whatever you call it, you're getting it from. So
Right.
maybe they haven't tried all the sources which are external in terms of the satisfaction. But someone who has tried everything and not satisfied, then he turns internally. So there are or someone who has understood just by hearing someone that there is nothing available externally, you'll find your happiness internally, and he starts following that person. Someone who has heard about it and he started following it. But there are people who, even after hearing, seeing, or experiencing, they don't understand this. There are fourth kind. So there are various kinds of people in this world. But we are not there to analyze the people. We are here to analyze our own components. Because if we analyze people, we are wasting our time of self-realization. Try to understand that
Okay.
because it's a long journey. Trust me, this lifetime is less. अपना खुद का काम नहीं होगा दूसरों का कैसे करेंगे? Use your time wisely. Trust me, this is what you've got. Time. Very expensive, very valuable. You may spend time and get money, but you cannot spend money and get time. So
But
choose
then,
carefully.
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
one analogy you said is in a plane, wear your oxygen mask first before you try to help someone else.
Absolutely.
But that being said, sir, Sri Prabhupada, he went ahead and he was self-realized, but he went ahead and took on other people's responsibilities.
Absolutely. But
So,
are we self-realized so we can take up other people's responsibility? So that is Srila Prabhupada. First
right,
first do upkar, then do paropkar. So he finished his
okay,
upkar. He
okay,
got the oxygen mask.
right,
We haven't got an oxygen mask unless you've got it already. Sorry, I shouldn't say that because I haven't. You guys would have not either. But I
right.
haven't got my oxygen masks yet. I can guarantee, I can say it with full conviction that I'm not self-realized. But if any one of you are, then please go ahead and do paropkar. No problem. So if you have finished your self-realization and you are completely understanding that yes, you are on that level of consciousness, you can go and preach. No problem. and start analyzing others. I have no problem. But I mean, if you have not, then you might have problems outside. That's what my suggestion is. Because I had it in the past. So I understood that no, I am not self-realized yet. I have to understand my components first, and then I'll be able to. So whatever I know so far, that's what I'm sharing with you. I don't know the percentage, but I know that I know very little.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So it's
Prabhuji,
only possible. Yeah. Yeah.
sorry, you were saying something
No, no,
about
no.
anger in relation to
In relation to the
the diagram.
yes. So coming back to the component. So we got a little detour. No problem. So coming back to the diagram which we had earlier, the circles, yeah, the layers. So the gross components will take some time to understand, differentiate. So it needs a bit of manan, bit of meditation on understanding what are my different components. And generally this manan should be done during Sandhya.
Yeah.
What is manan?
Reflection.
Okay. Anything
Chinta.
else? Chinta.
Chintan,
Chintan.
Manan Chintan, we say. Like,
Chintan is
Chintana.
okay, but chinta is not good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chintan. Sorry, Chintan.
चिंता और चिता में सिर्फ एक बिंदी का फर्क है.
Bindi.
Be careful.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. वो चिता को इंडियन ड्रेस पहना दोगे ना तो चिंता बन जाती है वो बिंदी के साथ.
Mm.
So chintan, yes, contemplation, thinking, revising it in your mind. So when you think about these layers, that should be done during these thought processing. As we said, the best time is Sandhya. Now what is Sandhya? Marathi मध्ये पण आहे ते. Sandhya, right? संध्याकाळी.
Mm.
Sandhyakal. Sandhya. What is Sandhya?
Evening.
4 to 7.
Yes. Anyone? Okay. All right. I want to know the definition of Sandhya, not the timings. So you know the word Sandhya? You use it quite often. Yes? Yes or no? You use this
Ye-
word?
Yeah.
During
Yeah, yeah.
sunset.
Yeah.
During
Aditi will tell
sunset.
me what is the definition of Sandhya.
I don't know, but during sunset.
During sunset.
Yeah. Sandhya is
Mm,
evening. This is what I know.
mm, okay.
During
No, that is
sunset.
partially correct, Aditi. But there is something more to it.
When the
Can we
two
Google?
times.
Mhm.
When the two.
No Google Baba. Sandhya. You can use Marathi Shabdakosh if you like, or Sanskrit Shabdakosh. Yes, if you have one. I remember my dad gave me one Marathi Shabdakosh. I was trying to understand Marathi when I came first to Bombay because I was in Delhi public school and they had Sanskrit. I had to study Marathi here. So the dad bought me a Marathi, which was very nice actually. It helped me, understand Marathi. Yes, what is Sandhya?
Between 6:30 to 7.
Not the timing, the definition. So you gave me one definition, evening, partially correct. There is something more to it.
Mhm.
So is it sunset
Mm,
just
no,
before sunset? No.
that is called Surya Asta
Oh, okay. 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 Suryast.
in Sanskrit or Marathi also. Surya Asta.
Suryast.
Hindi also Surya Asta. Suryoday, Surya Asta. So
Okay.
sunrise and sunset, but
Right.
So when
Sandhya,
the sun is
Sandhya is different.
about to set, that is the time when the sky changes color.
Okay.
does Sandhya come from shadow?
No.
Okay. Sorry. Just a try.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah, you can try. You can try. Kalpesh, Sandhya.
Not sure, Prabhuji.
It's definitely not the name of a girl.
That's what I was about to say, sir.
Yeah, Sandhya.
मेरी एक
Prabhi,
फ्रेंड
I
है,
have
उसका नाम संध्या है, वो सावली है, तो उसको भी संध्या काली चिढ़ाता हूँ।
सावली को सावली बोलते हैं, संध्या नहीं बोलते।
संध्या काली।
Kali, Kali is the time, not black. Come on, man. Sandhya. It's a very nice word, actually. I like this word, Sandhya. Sandhya means, I'll tell you, there are three timings basically, but I'll tell you when there is a transition, that's called Sandhya. The transition of
Prahar,
time. No. Prahar is
not
different.
Prahar.
I explain you Prahar also. There are 4 Praharas in a day, but Sandhya is
Uh,
very interesting. Sandhya is when there is a transition of from night to the morning, morning to the afternoon, and afternoon to the evening. That is called Sandhya. Interesting, na? That is why the whole word where Sandhya comes from is Trisandhyam. Trisandhyam, from Trisandhyam comes Sandhya. So there are 3 Sandhyas in a day. Technically, I mean, not exact, but approximately, first Sandhya is 6 a.m. in the morning. Second Sandhya is 12 noon, afternoon. And third Sandhya is 6 p.m. Yeah, at 6 hours. Yeah.
So what is the transition again from
So
morning to?
transition from morning, so night to morning, then from morning to afternoon, and from afternoon to evening.
Okay.
That is the time. And in these 3 Sandhyas, the gunas also change. What are the 3 guna? Anyone? Aditi will tell me. What are the 3 guna?
I
Prakriti.
don't.
Prakriti is 3 guna. 3 different modes of material nature.
Yeah,
You know it. You know it. I'm sure you know it.
I know it, but I cannot recall. I need to think.
Think little bit. Others can also think if someone remembers.
Yeah, I
Sat
remember.
Sattva is one of them.
Sattva. So
Sattva.
Sattva guna. So it relates to 6 a.m. in the morning.
अच्छा
yeah,
वो
morning.
got it.
Sattvic,
Yeah,
Sattvic.
Rajasic.
yeah.
Tamas.
So at that time you like to eat something sattvic, Even thinking, thoughts process is also sattvic.
In the morning.
Yeah. 6 a.m. you wouldn't want to drink, liquor, or wouldn't want to drink something, fizzy. अच्छा नहीं लगेगा तुमको.
No, but we can drink. ना कोई पीते हैं नहीं कोई
Yeah,
कोई पीते हैं सच्ची में
They
I
पीते
have
know,
a
I
हैं
high
know,
component of
I know,
tamasic.
I know. They're Rajasic. So
Rajasic.
someone who likes,
Rajasic.
someone who has fizzy, he's like passionate, very passionate. जल्दी जल्दी करना, जल्दी जल्दी करना. You are right, Aditi. You're not wrong. There are people who might drink 6 a.m. Coke, Pepsi. सुबह को पी के they feel, or Red Bull,
yeah
they drink, yeah, because they want to go high, they want to go passionate. But 6 a.m. is sattvic time. If you majority, if you see the nature, natural way, you would like to eat fruits, something nice, something subtle. कोई सुबह को तुमको nice, that's why you have cereals and this and that, which are subtle, calming you down आराम से. Then 12 noon is passionate. That time you can have nice, sumptuous lunch. You can have full protein diet. Nicely you can eat, because the digestion also at that time is very high, because sun is right on top of you. It really hits you up if there is sun, of
mm.
course.
Yep.
So it digests, it burns the calories at that time. You know, so digestion is also very high. So that is passionate time, 12 p.m. That's the time you should have, nice food, fully. Then 6 p.m. in the evening, that is tamas. That's tamasic time. Hmm? And generally, that is a time when everybody starts drinking. Most, not everybody, most of the people start drinking liquor, or having all sorts of party time.
And many people drink in the afternoon also.
That
12
is
o'clock.
there exceptions are always there. Yeah. So, but I'm taking normal people. So they are still in the human category. जो अभी क्रॉस नहीं हुआ है, ट्रांजिशन संध्या अभी नहीं हुई है उनकी. So those people, they would like to do, but these are the times for manan. Why did I pick this up? So that you can contemplate. These are the times to contemplate. You can best contemplate at this time. Of course, 12 p.m. you might be working, so 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. the best times to think. Thought process is awesome. Do not think about any problems at that point. It will cause harm to you. Trust me. Especially at 6 p.m. If you think about the problem at 6 a.m., your whole day is wasted. If you think about the problem at 6 p.m., your whole night is wasted. Problems अगर सोचना है 12 p.m. को सोचो. You will be able to fix it. लेकिन अगर प्रॉब्लम सुबह को 6 बजे और शाम को 6 बजे सोचा ना, it will be a hard time. You'll waste your time. Does it make sense?
But why this transition is the
Yeah,
best time?
even yeah.
Sorry.
Why is this transition time the best time?
Because as per the Shastra also, Trisandhyam, they have set up the mantras for Trisandhyam. Because that is the time when you are switching. So it is not actually the switch happened. So when you're doing something, say for example, you're sleeping, you woke up. Now there is a switch from your sleep to work. So that transition time should be used for thought processing. Does it make sense?
No, not
So,
really.
no, because that is not your active time of work
Okay.
or sleeping. Okay, so it is not an active time of work, neither sleeping or neither doing something else. Because 12 p.m., see, even if you see in Australia or in any other country, 12 p.m. is generally lunchtime, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. India, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., whatever.
Yeah.
So that is lunchtime. You're not actively working at that. You should not be actively working at that time. That's what the lunchtime means, right? That's why we need company, बैठ के बातें करेंगे, thoughts exchange करेंगे. We do that, right? Inactive time, basically, or transitioning time. So that is the best time for manan. Do thought processing at that time.
Manan of what? Like we said, the elements of our body and those
Very
things.
nice. So manan, that is the free will given to you. So what do you want to choose? Some people start this loud music at 6 a.m. Ekdam dinchak. Suveh ko they'll start this loud music and they'll brush their teeth and do. There are many people like that. The thought process will be the same. You build your day based on that thought process. So nice thoughts in the 6 a.m. Chanting, the best way. Thoughts about Krishna. Then
Actually, now
spending
I
some.
want to share something here.
Yeah.
I used to do, Bikram hot yoga and all. So when I used to go like 6 a.m. class now in the morning, I haven't been there like too many times in the morning, but whenever I've been like 6 a.m. class now, my energy was always full throughout the day, and I used to sleep like 9 p.m. It had reset my full entire day.
Yeah. So generally, this is also the time you have your, refreshments or lunch as well. So 6 a.m. if you want, have a little bit of breakfast. Sattvic, of course. It will be nice fruits or nice vegetables, boiled vegetables, all those. Those things are very nice in the morning. Green veggies, very nice. To really improve some veggies Like, there are nice veggies like asparagus and things like, which really improve your gut. You can have at that time. They have the most effective, because their nature is sattvic. Time is sattvic. You have come up with the right, mode. Everything is like in sync. Works very well. Then 12 p.m. you can have passionate food. I'm not suggesting you have passionate food, but because you are working, you have to work the whole day. So you have something which is energetic, full of protein. You have that nice, lentils and nice green vegetables, things like nicely cooked food, have nice grains. Jowar is one of the grain which is very nice actually. Bajra, you can have this, lot of protein in them. And they really improve. So you have these grains nice, which go throughout the day. And 6 p.m. in the evening, have something light, some light refreshments. Eat something very light so that you can prepare for your night to sleep. And thought process goes along with it. When you are eating, half an hour of lunchtime or break time, that's a thought process. What should be the thoughts? That these are the thoughts. So I come back to the circle. What are my senses? Then after the senses, after the gross body, what's the next layer?
Mind.
Mind.
Is it mind or the subtle body, the whole set? So it's mind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, mind.
Next is mind. And after mind, it is which one?
Intelligence.
Intelligence.
Intelligence. So you come,
Intelligence.
so you try to be in the mind, try to be in the intelligence. So that is one of the thought. How, where do I identify myself? How do I identify my intelligence? How do I identify my mind? You know,
Okay.
so the aspects of the mind will always drag it down in terms of, you like this, why are you doing this? Intelligence will tell you, jump on the intelligence, you're doing this because it is a need of the hour. You need to make money. You can't be always satisfied with what you're doing. So you have to work where you're not even not satisfied, but you have to do the job so that you get money. So it is right for you. That will help you to make your living, to sustain your, uh, whatever bills. So jumping between, understanding the layers. After that, after intelligence, what is the next one?
False ego.
False ego.
Ego. Now, ego. This is very important. Ask yourself. Of course, everybody gets angry. You have heard also now in the group. Who is getting angry? Ask yourself. Among these components, who is getting angry?
Subtle body.
Yes, anything else?
False ego.
Yes,
Yeah, it's the ego.
yes. So the one who gets angry always is the ego. Don't think that it's a thought process. You can give it a thought when you are at the Sandhya card, when you are ready. It's not me who's getting angry. It is that ego is getting angry. Who's getting angry? Ego. Now, try to understand why. Why am I saying this? Because if someone is saying something to the body, तेरी नाक टेढ़ी है, टकला हो गया है, मोटा हो गया है, पतला हो गया है, सुस्त लग रहा है, पागल हो गया है, whatever he says to the gross body, anyone external, yeah, the ego gets angry because ego is like a sticky material. It is like a sticky, it is stuck to everything. अभी कोई भी तुम्हारी बॉडी को गाली देगा ना, ईगो को गुस्सा आएगा, बिकॉज चिपका हुआ है सबके साथ. स्पेशली वो चिपका हुआ है तुम्हारी सोल और दूसरी बॉडी के साथ, चिपका हुआ है वो, बहुत गुस्सा आता है उसको. कोई तुम्हारे माइंड के बारे में बोलेगा ना, यू डोंट थिंक गुड इनफ, फिर भी ईगो को गुस्सा आएगा। तो वो कोई बोले तू पागल है, इंटेलिजेंट पे कोई क्वेश्चन उठाएगा तो फिर भी ईगो को गुस्सा आएगा।
तेरी सोच ही गलत है।
So everything, all the components are like stuck to this ego, and ego is between these and the soul. कोई भी बार टोचन मारता है ना, ईगो गुस्सा आता है, लेकिन सोल को कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता। बट द रीजन हमको फर्क पड़ता है, क्यों? बिकॉज वी आर कंप्लीटली लिंक्ड विथ
Identifying.
आवर बॉडी। We
Yeah,
identify ourselves
exactly.
our body, we don't identify ourselves। हम
Yeah.
लोग इधर नहीं है, हम लोग इधर है। वो गोला देखा ना, गोला, उसमें अंदर जाने का बीच में वो गेम खेला क्या, वो चर्रे वाला,
Yeah.
गोल में बीच सेंटर में लेके वो करने का अपने को। We have to bring those balls in the center, ourselves in the center. It's very difficult, ना? Very difficult. बहुत टोचन आएगा बाहर से। But the best thing which will happen with Krishna Katha and with chanting, ये ईगो ना, ये ईगो मोटा रहता है नॉर्मली। मोटा ईगो आदमी का फटाफट पता पड़ जाएगा आपको। आप सिर्फ एक बात बोल दोगे ना, अरे क्या हो गया, तू मोटा लग रहा है, वो बंदा पूरा दिन उसके बारे में सोचेगा, अरे मोटा है, हाँ मोटा बोल दिया मैंने। वो एक्चुअली वो मोटा नहीं है, उसका ईगो मोटा है। ईगो इज थिक। वो ईगो को ना थिन करने का है अपने को। वी हैव टू मेक इट थिन, तो ज्यादा चिपके नहीं पूरे बॉडी पार्ट्स के साथ में। मोटा बोल दिया, हाँ ठीक है, व्हाट विल हैपन इज, वो असर करेगा। ऐसा नहीं कि ईगो खत्म हो जाएगा पूरा, नहीं, गुस्सा आएगा, लेकिन इट विल बी क्षण भंगुर, थोड़ी देर के लिए आएगा, ठीक, कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात। ये धीरे धीरे जाना चाहिए। It doesn't mean that you are a coward. It doesn't mean that you can't answer. It means that you have a control over your anger and ego. ये गुस्सा इसकी वजह से आता है, because we identify ourselves as the body. गुस्सा पूरा उधर है, आइडेंटिफिकेशन में। और ये ईगो को हमको सेटल करना है धीरे धीरे। अगर कूद के हम लोग इधर साइड पे आ गए ना, सोल की तरह आ गए ना, then there is no ego. But that is a trance position. That is samadhi. That we will understand how to come there. But this is how you identify ego.
So, Prabhuji, what you said is when someone gives us matlab, external comments, but when we are angry with oneself for doing certain things, tabhi bhi ego is getting affected.
Say
As
that
in,
again. Sorry, I didn't
I
get your
said,
question.
I said, whatever you explained is when someone is telling us something, ki tu pagal hai, ye hai extra. But then when we are angry with oneself, if we do something or kuch bhi ho, so we are angry with oneself, ye humne kyun kiya or whatever. So
No, no,
then
no,
also,
no, 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 no. So if someone tells something about your mind or intelligence,
yeah,
let
yeah,
let the intelligence handle it, not the ego.
okay,
वो लाइन के अंदर ही खेलने का है अपने को।
yeah.
You understand? गुस्सा अगर आ रहा है ना बहुत ज्यादा, मतलब ये ईगो कूद कूद के बाहर आ रहा है। वो ईगो को, अब ईगो को सेटल करने के लिए you have to, the best way to handle ego is to not feed the ego, because ego is the bad dog.
Mm-hmm.
It is the bad dog inside us, उसको feed नहीं करना है। How do we feed the ego? I'll give you an example. You dressed up, okay, दिवाली पे ड्रेसअप किया है, कोई बोल रहा है यार क्या
Praising.
क्या मस्त लग रहा है यार, तू ब्यूटीफुल। अच्छा, मैं सच्ची में अच्छा लग रहा हूँ? वो बार बार जाके मिरर में देखे अपने आप को, फिर दूसरे से पूछेगा, अरे वो पता है 10 लोगों का कमेंट्स मिला मेरे को, और मेरे को 15 लाइक्स मिला फेसबुक पे, और मेरे को 20 लाइक्स मिला इंस्टाग्राम पे। दिस इज योर फीडिंग योर ईगो। इससे मोटा होता है ईगो। जो खुशी आती है ना अंदर प्रेज और फेम से, उससे मोटा। दिस इज अ फीड, दिस इज अ फूड फॉर ईगो। इट बिकम्स फैट, इट बिकम्स फैट फैट। Try to be subtle when someone praises you. Yeah, I'll just come to you, Randir. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah, I'll finish this. So this fatness, charbi nahi badhani ego ki. Don't feed fatty food to the ego. Feed him very light. बहुत बड़ा प्रेज मिलता है ना, बहुत बड़ा सर्टिफिकेट मिलता है, इसका कुछ नहीं है, ठीक है, that's okay, nothing big. Try to push it. This is the thought process we have to develop. Krishna helps us, and this is called humility. Humility. Have you heard this word?
Yeah, and what would be Hindi or Sanskrit shabd for this, Prabhuji?
For humility?
Mm-hmm.
Sanskrit word, na?
Or Hindi. Yeah.
You can Google that one up, I think. Humility in Sanskrit. I'm not able to recall it on top of my head. Yeah. So do not feed the ego. Do not feed the ego. Try to keep it settled. Sorry, Randir. Yes, please go ahead.
So would that be
Vinamrata.
vinamrata?
Vinamrata.
Vinamrata.
Vinamrata. Yeah. Vinamra. Humility. Vinamra.
Now, so one question:
Yeah. Yeah.
how does truth come into this?
What is it? Truth.
How does truth come into this? Because, okay, this placating ego, keeping yours out of the picture. But,
Out of the
if you're
picture.
right, I mean, you can handle that. But if you have to tell the
Very
truth,
hard. Very hard to handle.
because
Trust me.
imagine if your wife asks you, am I looking fat? I mean, are you required to lie then?
No. There's no lie or truth here. It is about your own self. See, the problem is we always take others. अरे हमारा तो पहले फिक्स कर ले, वाइफ को बाद में सोचेंगे ना, पहले अपना तो देख लें. हमको अगर कोई कुछ बोलता है, हमारी अगर कोई प्रेज करता है, if someone is making us famous, praising us, how are we handling it? Are we feeling joy in it? What is our inner feeling? Are we very happy about it? Is it keeping us excited? नींद नहीं आ रही, अरे यार मजा आ गया आज तो, I got this, such a beautiful thing, मजा आ गया. Is this something is keeping you high? That is feeding the ego.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay, I understand that. Self-control,
Yeah. No.
right?
This is not self-control. This is
Right.
not self-control. It is more of handling your praise, handling fame. How do you
It's
handle
more
your
of
fame?
pridelessness, being
It's called
modest or
humility.
humble.
It's called not modest.
Yeah.
It's humility. That is called
Humility.
humility. When you try to understand that I'm nothing, basically, the reason why I'm nothing is because all my senses actually are being controlled by Rishikesha. If I do not have all this, if I do not have this power, I do not have the speech, I do not have the caliber which I have to do things, if I do not have the senses which I have, if I do not have the indriyas which I have, how will I do all these things? It's because of the Supreme I'm able to do it. Otherwise, how will I do it? I am not the controller. I am not everything. He's everything. I am just serving him. That's it. And he's helping me to do things. Whatever spark I have inside me is because of Krishna. Because he has all the sparks. I'm just a part, a parcel of his. That's all I am. If I can keep myself in that mode, I will be humble. I'm not doing this. No. It is the mercy of Krishna is making me do it. We are subtle. Someone praises us, we don't take that praise. No. Inside, खाली बोलना नहीं है. बोल भी सकते हो. Yeah, nothing. That's okay. Nothing great. But internally, we feel no, it's not me. It's not me. Yes.
But Prabhuji, dealing with yourself, okay, it's an exercise. But how do you deal with when you're asked about a situation where somebody else is asking, I mean, if your wife is asking, am I looking fat? I mean, then you're dead, right?
You answer her what your dharma is.
With intelligence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're not there to offend someone, right?
Discriminate intelligently at that time.
How would you not use your intelligence with someone whom you love or with someone whom you care? You wouldn't want to hurt someone, right?
But that's lying.
No, no. I agree. I agree. It's not lying, it is caring.
But that is lying then.
Yeah. So if you think you want to speak the truth, yeah, only the truth, and tell that person that, there are ways to say that as well. You don't say you are fat. You say yes, you're looking good, but if if you had shred a few more, maybe it would have looked better. That would be an honest answer, right?
So I told the truth and I got divorced twice.
No, but the truth has to be said in a certain way.
For example, Randir, you can say,
There
those
is
love
there
handles
is
are
a,
really good.
there is a difference between bluntness
Uh-huh.
and being conveying your message in a very intelligent way.
Tone becomes more important than content.
So the way you say it changes the things. You have to what you get, neutralize the you know the harshness of the words so that they are subtle and the message is conveyed. That is an art. That is communication, isn't it? It's called
Right.
Yeah.
non-violent communication.
Mhm.
It's an art.
No, this is
There,
ego now.
I'll
This
suggest
is,
you a book.
yeah, yeah. Go on, please.
There is a book called Non-Violent Communication. Can someone look up who's the author? Google. There you can use Google.
Non-violent communication. M- Marshall Rosenberg.
Absolutely. That's one of the
Mhm.
best sellers, Randir. It's a great buy, I'll tell you. I can vouch for this book. Very famous. Very famous. One of the best sellers on Amazon as well, I think. Go for it. Because we become cruel sometimes. We don't even know when we speak.
Hmm.
We think I've said the truth. I've said the right thing. I've done the right thing. Why is he getting angry? No. Communication, you know. It is said that sometimes a pen is mightier than the sword, right? So the words are effective. You choose your words. That's why non-violence in communication is very important. In fact, one of my Shiksha gurus, he had vouched for that book. He said, you should read this book. He had sent me a PDF also. I don't know where it is, but it's good to buy a physical copy. Invest in that book. It will help you a lot, Randir. It will help you improve your relationships with people. You will still speak the truth. I'm not saying that you'll lie.
Mhm.
You'll speak the truth, but you will speak the truth non-violently. That's more important. Does make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah, please go on.
So when I was young, my father gave me a copy of Dale Carnegie's book, How to Make Friends and Influence People. The problem is, maybe this is my ego, but I don't tend to tell a lie. I'm quite blunt.
No, no.
So,
This is
so
this. Don't take this as. Don't be. Now, does it make you proud?
well, yeah,
If it makes you proud, then it is a ego.
right. That's what I'm saying.
No, no. So try to settle yourself by not taking that as a compliment. Think that is a liability on you. It should not make you proud. You're blunt. मैं तो खुली किताब हूँ बोलते हैं लोग. मैं एकदम साफ साफ बोल देता हूँ सब कुछ. एकदम खुला, ट्रांसपेरेंट, सीधा जो मुंह पे बोल देता हूँ मैं. No problem. It's not a compliment, mate. Don't think you're great. Please settle yourself.
And
You know, people should know how to say, how to convey the message which is not hurting others. That's another aspect. That is humility. And that is where the intelligence comes. Use your intelligence, not your ego to be proud कि मैं transparent हूँ. Nah. Use intelligent to become subtle, to become non-violent.
I'll read that book.
Wonderful. It will help you. Trust me.
So New Year resolution set, Prabhuji, next year. Let's see how much we can thin the ego. It's really difficult.
So two things important in today's discussion is a sandhya. Remember that. Be present in these sandhyas. All of you. Try to be present in these sandhyas. Be at least awake in these sandhyas. Don't sleep at 6 a.m. in the morning. Don't sleep at 12 p.m. in the afternoon. Don't sleep at 6 p.m. in the evening. Please. Very bad. सुबह को ब्रह्मा सताएगा, दिन को कृष्ण, रात को शिवा. शाम को शिव जी 6 बजे भूत लेके निकलते हैं, डाल देंगे आपके ऊपर. मैंने ये कापालिक से सुना है.
कापालिक कौन है सर?
अघोरी बाबा. I was once in Rishikesh. He told me 6 बजे मत सोना कभी. There was one guy who was sleeping in the evening. साधु सो रहा था, उसको जाकर उठाया उसने. 6 बजे नहीं सोना. कापालिक है सारे ऋषिकेश में. बोलता है वो आके मार देंगे शिव जी तुमको. I'm just saying this because I've heard it. It's debatable. I don't know. But I'm just telling you that these sandhyas are very important. These sandhyas are very good for contemplation. You should read. You should, think. Please be awake. Please be aware of the nature. Walk के लिए निकल जाओ. Spend time with the nature. These are good timings. Not in the afternoon, but 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. दोनों में से एक तो हो सकता है यार. Yes? Agreed or not agreed?
Agreed,
तीनों
Prabhuji.
हो सकता है.
तीनों हो
तीनों
सकता
हो
है.
सकता है.
लेकिन 12 पीएम अगर नहीं हो सकता, ऑफिस में हो, ये है तो दोनों में से
हाँ.
तीनों में से एक 6 पीएम तो हो ही सकता है. 6 पीएम पे कुछ और मत करो प्लीज. दारू मत पियो, सिगरेट मत पियो. वो टाइम पे अगर पीते हो ठीक है, वो दूसरी बात है. मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि जस्ट स्टॉप एवरीथिंग व्हाट यू आर डूइंग, बट एट दैट टाइम कीप योर थॉट प्रोसेस ऑन. सोना मत वो टाइम पे प्लीज.
डिनर करें उस टाइम.
हाँ, डिनर बेस्ट है. डिनर करो. बहुत अच्छी बात है. 6 पीएम इज बेस्ट फॉर डिनर. Dinner, light dinner karo and think about nice things. But contemplation is very important. Think about these things and these different components. So that is Sandhya. And then different components. Who gets angry? Subtle body and gross body. And what should be our position? Yes, Rishi.
I want to go back again to what Aditi asked. That question of when somebody else says something and ego gets hurt. That is understood. But what happens when you are self-deprecating, self-criticizing?
Why would you do that?
Everybody does that. Oh, what a mistake I made. Oh, I could
That's
have done
okay.
this better. Those kind
It's
of
okay.
things.
That's improvement, right? That's intelligence again. What you have done wrong.
So that is
Yeah,
intelligence. That
yeah.
is not nothing to do with ego.
You don't have to go to the ego. Don't demoralize yourself, or do not try to say nah, I'm bad. ऐसे ego को मारना नहीं. Don't kill your ego. People say that kill your ego. Don't kill your ego. You have to, you have to try and make it thin so that there is no effect.
Yeah, things slide off. जब कुछ लोग का होता है ना.
Yeah, easy. You're easy, with that thing. Don't carry it longer. लंबा चलता है नहीं तो वो जितना मोटा होगा ना ईगो, वो चिपका के रखेगा बहुत देर तक. The width of the ego, गोले में देख रहे हो ना, जितना बड़ा उसका width होगा ना, उतना लंबा चलेगा वो बात तुम्हारे दिमाग में. और उतना डिस्टेंस ट्रैवल करना पड़ेगा सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन के लिए एक बार इंटेलिजेंस समझ में आ गया तो यू नो व्हाट आई मीन
So that is actually that is a buffer we have to reduce.
ये इधर ही खेलना है पूरा but
That's
first
why
try to
short-tempered
understand
people
it.
have high ego. Is that correct? Short-tempered people, that's why have high
Now
ego.
people who have high ego they are short tempered.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It's the other way around. So anger is the major aspect of ego.
तो प्रभु जी इसमें डिप्रेशन कहाँ आएगा फिर?
Depression. What is
हाँ, where
depression?
will
What is
नहीं,
depression? Okay, question for you. What is depression? We have our group named antidepressant, so you should know what is depression, right? Depression का definition एकदम clear होना चाहिए, right?
well,
What is depression?
detachment, right?
Nah, come on, Randir. You can do better.
So come on, I mean, it's like if you're not attached to almost, it's basically, it doesn't matter. You know, it's like, हाँ भाई, drink करना है, नहीं करूँगा, right?
And
It
you
really
can.
doesn't matter.
I'm saying you can do better with the definition. I'm pretty sure. One more try. Come on.
Clinical psychology का तो है ही, but
No. It is not that.
हाँ,
Depression is very specific.
right.
Depression is completely related to doing things, activities.
I think we have covered this before when we have the
Absolutely.
skill but not the will.
Exactly. When you don't want to do something, you know you can do this, whatever it may be, but you don't want to do it, whatever reasons.
So is that the opposite of ego then?
No, ego is something different. What we are talking about is depression. So
Right.
depression is when the will, basically you don't want to do it. Arjun is under depression because he doesn't want to fight. He can fight, right?
Right.
But he doesn't want to. That's depression.
But that same ego could be is I am the greatest, or you says I won't do this.
That's
Right.
not
I mean, that
Arjun.
could be
That is not Arjun.
right.
Arjun is
No.
depressed, but he is
Right.
not in under ego. No, so it is not related to ego. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I mean, I'm just trying to make an argument that if
No,
ego
but
could be is I'm not doing this,
no,
right, or
in
I won't
relation
do
to
this.
ego, there is no
Uh-huh.
relation of depression to ego. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
There cannot be because two different entities altogether. So we take the example of Arjun as the actual example of Arjun directly. He does not have ego. He's not body conscious. He's Krishna conscious. Yes, but he's depressed because he doesn't know. He's not clear. So clarity is more important in terms of depression, because the reason why you don't want to do it, because you don't want to do something even though you know how to do it. There can be many reasons. The major reason would be the clarity.
So Prabhuji,
yeah,
between 1 to 20, 1.1 to 1.25 to 6, when Duryodhan ka, senior interaction ho raha hai, isn't that going to be ego then?
whose ego?
Duryodhan's ego.
Duryodhan was always in ego. He was fully body conscious.
No. I'm saying is of what we have learned so far.
Yeah. What we have learned so far in Nirikshana Yoga.
So I don't understand the. Okay. I don't remember the Sanskrit verses, but
No, that's okay. But
right.
Nirikshana Yoga, whatever Arjun was checking his own army and the other,
right.
He was, of course, he was fully body conscious, completely materialistic. Number game.
Right.
Yeah, correct. You are correct. He was under that influence of ego. That yeah, this is all mine. So what's the question?
No, and then he goes into lamentation, and then finally, by the time
who goes into lamentation?
Arjun goes into lamentation, right?
But you're talking about Duryodhan or Arjun?
No, first it was Duryodhan who was into his ego.
1 minute. So, what is the question?
I'm trying to juxtapose two people. One of them having ego during Senian eruption, right, between 1 to 1.1 to 1.26, right?
But Duryodhan
And
was not depressed. Your question was
no.
depression, right?
He had ego, right?
No, that's okay. I
Whereas
understood that.
right,
But
whereas
your question was
Arjun was
depression, right?
depressed.
No,
No,
that's okay.
I'm going to ego to depression of the other person.
No. Why two people are taken into consideration here? What is your question? Is it depression or ego?
I'm trying to find out is one person had ego and the other person had depression. Is that a proper analysis? I mean,
You find out. I don't know where you are sourcing it and how you're trying to relate it. I'm not able to.
okay, sorry.
You can
I'll
think
try
and
reading it a
rephrase.
bit more.
Yeah. Think and rephrase it again if you want
Right.
to relate it in some way or the other. I would let you
Right.
contemplate on that.
Right, sir.
Yeah.
6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
6 a.m. is one Sandhya card.
Right.
12
And 6
p.m.
p.m. is
is
another one.
12 p.m. is the next Sandhya card.
Right.
Then 6 p.m. is the third Sandhya card.
Right.
So Sandhya card means it's the transition of
Transition.
night to morning,
Right.
morning to afternoon, afternoon to evening.
Right.
Okay, so we'll end our discussion here. If there are any other questions, please let me know. All right, we'll catch up next week.
Thank you so much, sir.
Hare